Good to meet you face to face.
How you doing?
Doing good. My name's Jerem Smith. I'm with the Lyon County Observer. I'm recording our conversation. I just wanted to get to know you real quick, get to know a little bit about your case, and I'll tell you a little bit about myself first. I'm 41 years old. I'm a native to Lyon County. I'm a painting contractor, obviously, and I also run the Lyon County Observer. So I cover local news stories. So I read your case, I read your briefing and filing, and I think it's interesting. I think it's really well written, and I think your story is compelling. So I want to get to know you. So tell me about yourself.
All right. Yeah. 62. Originally from Kansas City, Missouri. Uh, the I have associates in business and paralegal certification. 914-hour credit hour paralegal program. 30 years ago, I was charged in Wyandotte County with murder, for an act of self-defense, but I lost that case. Spent 30 years in prison, studying law, helping people with their cases and stuff, until I got out in 2024. Met my wife and stepdaughter. We've been in Wichita for the last 2 years, a little over 2 years, and so wound up getting stopped in a traffic stop on the highway.
Where at?
I-35, well, 335, where the 335 exit is.
So Lyon County in Emporia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Was that by sheriff deputies or a state trooper?
State troopers, ironically, and it's not somebody that was on patrol. They were state troopers that were sent to go make an illegal stop, an illegal search on my vehicle.
Why do you say it was illegal?
Because they didn't have probable cause, and a detective out of Kansas City, Kansas, called him and said, well, he drove through this neighborhood up here, and we think he's got contraband in his vehicle. We need you to stop him and search it. So they stopped us and said that they were stopping us for a traffic stop for speeding, but they never stopped me for speeding.
How fast? How fast did they say you were going?
80 and a 75.
Okay.
Which anybody who's ever driven on the interstate knows that if you're doing 80 and a 75, they're never going to stop you. So it was a little odd out of the blue. And it was 10 o'clock at night. We were coming back home from Kansas City to Wichita. There was nobody behind us. And then we're getting off at the 50 highway exit to stop at the truck stop. And as we are exiting, next thing we know, there's headlights up our butt. And so we got up on the exit there, and then he finally hit his lights. Anyways, they did their illegal search, found contraband, and then arrested us, brought us here. So that's what brought me to the jail here.
Okay. So I read your Morrissey hearing paperwork. You claim that their search should be thrown out because it was... why don't you tell me, why did you think that the evidence should be thrown out?
Well, so at first they lied and said it was a traffic stop. And you read the Morrissey hearing findings. That's what the trooper came and swore under oath, that he stopped me for a traffic stop, and they run the dog, get alerted, and then...
How long from when they pulled you over to when they arrived with the K9 unit?
Okay, well, so they had the K9 unit lying in wait. So
there wasn't a wait for that?
Huh?
There wasn't a wait for that?
Yeah, there was a little bit. So ironically, the state didn't want to reveal their evidence and stuff at first, but in fact, they didn't even put the trooper that stopped me. They didn't even put him on the witness list. It was after when I saw that he wasn't on there, I knew what was happening, so I subpoenaed him to come to the parole hearing. And once he got to the parole hearing and I got him to testify under oath there, then they put him on a week later. They called him to testify at the preliminary hearing in this case. And that's when he got on the stand. He said, "Oh, no, we just stopped him for a traffic stop. He was speeding and tires went over the fog line." So I said, okay. So when I got to cross-examine him, I said, so I advised him that in Kansas law, perjury is a felony. He said he knew that. So I started quizzing him on some of his answers from the state. And then I finally just asked him, I said, so were you doing an investigation on that day? Because he's part of an investigative team. And he said, yes. And I said, when you stopped me, were you doing part of an investigation? He said, yes. So then I said, so when you testified earlier that you stopped me for a traffic stop, that was a lie. And he says, well, we do what we call a pretextual stops.
Right.
And I said, say again? He says, yeah, we do pretextual stops. Do you know what that is? And I said, yeah, I know what they are. They're illegal.
So why do you say they're illegal?
Because if you are the target, well, for one, there was no speeding ticket, and the fog line, when you're on an exit ramp, it's not against the law to cross over the fog line.
Now, were you cited for speeding?
Nope.
You never got a ticket for that?
No. He walked up to the car. We immediately handed him our IDs, showed him proof of insurance. So he said, well, that's okay. He said, I just wanted to make sure you weren't driving under the influence. And I said, well, yeah, no, I've got my wife and daughter in the car. I'm not driving under the influence. So then he said, well, will you get out of the car and come back here and join me so I can finish up this stop? I said, okay. Got out of my vehicle, went back, got in his vehicle. He patted me down and stuff, put me in his vehicle. Then he said, well, there's not going to be any traffic tickets. That's not what I stopped you for. And I said, okay. So that should have been the end of the traffic stop. It was not.
Did you ask him if you were free to go?
No. So he was typing some stuff on his little laptop, acting like he was looking something up. So by that time, his partner had pulled up with the dog, got the dog out to take around the vehicle. So then they claimed that the dog alerted. The dog did not alert. Nevertheless,
have you requested body cam footage?
Oh yeah, I've got all that.
You already have that?
Yep.
Okay.
So then, even after the first trooper Custer, got caught lying at the prelim and come out with the part about the pretextual.
They arrested you for possession of drugs, right?
Controlled substance. Yep.
Yeah. What type of substance?
They said it was meth.
And can you say how much it was?
They said 3 pounds, some odd ounces.
Okay. All right. You go ahead and go on.
So,
are you are you a meth user, or have you been in the past?
No, back when I was younger, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
But I haven't had a dirty UA in 30 years. So.
Okay.
So then, after Custer testified that, he had been dishonest, that it was a pretextual stop, they wanted to search the vehicle. Then she called the other Trooper Walker and had him testify. And then he just said, nope, we just stopped you for a traffic ticket. That was it. And then we decided to run the dog around your car. And I said, that's what you want to stick with? And he said, yes. So then I just cut off his cross-examine right examination right there because I didn't want to tip too much of my hand in case this case should ever go to trial.
Sure. So I want to move forward. Have you made a motion to dismiss the case based on that Morrissey hearing?
So on the Morrissey, I filed a habeas petition downtown.
Right.
Judge, I want to say it was Larson, dismissed it, said it was premature. So now we have filed a habeas petition in the Kansas Supreme Court. So to get that PV set aside for perjury. Okay. I filed a criminal complaint against the county attorney, the assistant county attorney, McGee, and the 2 troopers for perjury when they testified falsely at the preliminary hearing.
How did they testify falsely?
When they said that they stopped me for a traffic, that the only reason they stopped me was for a traffic violation, but then it turns out that that wasn't true. That's not the reason they stopped me. So it was a pretextual stop, and then they didn't say what the pretextual stop was based on back then, other than they were doing an investigation and they hadn't revealed any information. The state withheld all discovery material from me until after my prelim. Okay. So after they had to start giving me discovery, then it turned out that I had given one of my clients in Kansas City.
Let's just skip ahead off through all that. I think that's okay. TMI for now. Let's move ahead to Sheriff Cope and Captain Shafer. You're also suing them as well, correct?
Right, and then it's that I have 4 John Doe / Jane Does on there, yet to be named officers.
So after you got to Lyon County Jail, how long was it before you had your first lockdown?
Less than a week.
And what was that lockdown for?
So the first lockdown was, actually they put the whole pot in lockdown. Apparently somebody had given somebody else Jell-O off of their tray.
Is that against the rules? I mean, it's been a while since I've been
rules.
It's been a while since I've been in jail, but that was like normal practice back when I was.
Right. So no, it's against the rules now.
So if you don't eat all your food, you just have to throw it away?
Throw it away.
Okay.
Right.
That's odd.
So then I had all right, let me rephrase. The first lockdown was, now that I recall, my 3rd day here, I had a screaming headache. So when the nurse came by, I asked her for some aspirin. She said, I have no problem with that, but I need you to put in a medical request on that kiosk, and pointed to the kiosk right here. So I said, okay. I came over and sat down, and the kiosk was already lit up, and there was a deal that said request form. So I hit that, picked the one that said medical, and I put in a request for aspirin. So then when I got done, I hit the button that said log out, and it logged out. And then I sat there for a minute. I'm like, wow, I didn't log into that. That was already up. So I went back and logged into my account to make sure it was my medical request I put it on, and it was not. Somebody had got up from the kiosk and left their account open. So
you requested an aspirin on somebody else's account.
Right. So then I resubmitted my request on mine. Well, then the gentleman that I thought had been on there, I told him, I said, hey, I think you left your account open. I think I may have put a request for aspirin on your deal. And he said, oh, that's cool. So we left it at that. Well, the next day they come and tell me I'm in a lockdown for 30 days for accessing somebody else's account.
So just for me and anybody else who's not familiar with the jail, where are these kiosks at? You're in the day room now, right? Is it near where you're at now? Or if not, can you?
Yeah, I'm on one.
Okay, so it's where the phone is at. Is there like a screen there and a keyboard and stuff?
Yep.
How many
There is.
kiosks are in each pod?
Well, the one over there where I was at in D pod has got 2. The one here has got 3.
Which
This
pod
is
are you
the
in? Are you in F pod?
F. Yeah,
Okay. And
and it's a
how
bigger
many
pod.
inmates are in F pod?
Oh, there's 20 or so.
Oh, that's it.
18 or 20. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, let's move forward. Well, here's one question: do you feel that these actions are targeting you specifically, or is this general practice of the jail?
Both. So, they gave me a 30-day lockdown. You know, no phones, no tablet. I represent myself on my case. So now you're interfering with my ability to represent myself. You did not give me a write-up. I didn't get a hearing. I didn't get to present any evidence or put any argument up, any of that stuff.
Is that what they're normally supposed to do, is give inmates a chance to go ahead. Tell me how that works.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right on the money there. So the Constitution requires minimal due process rights. You got to have a right. You have the right to be served notice of a rule violation. You have the right to have a impartial hearing in front of an impartial hearing panel or officer or somebody to confront the case or the charges against you and present a defense, and then you receive punishment. Here, they don't allow you to do any of that. They just start punishment, and then they'll send you a form, and if you get it turned in within 24 hours, they'll let you appeal their judgment.
Okay.
But
so, have you done that in this case, or in the other cases where you've been locked down?
Yeah. So I did on the first one, on the one I was just telling you about the aspirin, or about accessing somebody else's account, even though the inmate went over and told him, said, hey, hold up, I left my account open. He didn't do it on purpose. He shouldn't be punished. Right. So they said, too bad. He can appeal it. So I put in the appeal form, went up, spoke my piece. They said, well, we'll reduce it down to 7 days. And so I thanked them, but like I told the lady then, I was like,
7 days,
punish me.
The longest I ever did was 4 days, and that was torture to me. All I had was a Bible, Yeah. So 7 days. That's not a light punishment, if you ask me, especially for something that you've been found to not be guilty of.
Right. So, then that's just what I told her. I said, I know that you feel like you did something good here. But you're still punishing me for something that I didn't do. You know what I mean? So their little rule book, there's no requirement. You can accidentally do something and be punished for it. There's somebody left their account open and you accidentally, it would not behoove me to request aspirin on his account.
You weren't like trying to make a phone call or accessing his personal information either. It was just an aspirin.
Right. So, and I got my aspirin, by the way.
So well, that's good. When is your next hearing on this lawsuit against Cope and Shafer and
okay.
Others?
So technically I'm still waiting on the clerk to send me back the copies to serve on them, but I had my investigator go ahead and do service. So I'm not for sure when the next hearing is going to be on that.
But it is docketed, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got a case and all that stuff. So you can go to, and I don't know if you know how to access Odyssey, or you go to Kansas District Court Public Access, and you can pull up every case in every county. And
yeah, that's where I found your case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm not for sure when they have a hearing scheduled, because they have it being heard by another judge from out of town. And
okay.
So you kind of already got a feel from when I had talked to you previously. I could tell you kind of know what goes on in this place a little bit.
Yeah,
in this county.
Like I said, I consider myself an accountability journalist.
Yeah.
I'm an ex-addict myself. I've kind of seen both sides. I was a pre-law student at one time, so we kind of got some things in common. So I'm sympathetic to your cause. I don't know what's going to happen with your case. It sounds like if you win, it's going to be on technicalities. But I'm always interested to hear if people are being treated unfairly or being harmed, especially when they're being taken care of by somebody who's been given public trust. And so I hope that if you've been done wrong, that some change for good can come from it. Because
Sure. Well, and I think
it's not
ultimately it will.
Well, I just want to say it's not very often that somebody can express themselves so clearly, especially written. So I feel like you're a good example or candidate to show people what could be improved in our county jail and maybe with our sheriff.
Sure. So and that's where I'm at. One of my favorite sayings is I can't stand a bully with a badge. You know what I mean? If you are given the privilege of having a public office and you have control and dominance over citizens, respect that. You know what I mean? Treat them fairly, treat them justly, follow the, you've been pre-law, then you already know the hierarchy in this country is you respect our Constitution first and our constitutional rights, and then
100%.
it trickles down from there.
Right.
So, like in my criminal case, why do you have to come lie? Just come tell the truth and you'll be a lot better off. But when you're not doing right, then you have to do that. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping it's going to turn out. Like I said, this is just going to be the first lawsuit. I have another one following it because they're violating our religious diets and our dietary stuff.
Now, your wife was also arrested. Has she been released or is she still in custody?
Yeah, no. I managed to finally get her bond reduced down and got her bonded out and stuff, and she's at home.
Does she have your guys' child back?
No, she's still working on that. So this whole thing cost our home, costed us all three of our vehicles. I can in the future I'll get you some stuff where the officers were like, well, yeah, if you'll just confess, we'll let her go home. We know she didn't do nothing wrong.
Yeah, I'd be interested in getting that body cam footage if there's a way to get it. So we can I'll email you after this on that. But we probably ought to wrap this up. But did you have anything else you wanted to share with the public about your case?
Well, so
or about your situation.
Right. So it's so often prisoners, inmates, pretrial detainees get classified, well, he's just disgruntled criminal, you know what I mean? And that's why injustice gets to the level that it gets to. It's not following the Constitution and respecting people's rights, even people who are struggling or in trouble. It's not that hard to do, you know what I mean? Not when you got the whole power of the government behind you. So I hope people don't, just kind of chalk this up to somebody complaining. There's a lot of issues here. They had to rotate this whole staff in this jail over the last year and get all new people for a reason. So as this thing unfolds and the next lawsuit unfolds, and, the citizens are going to wind up paying the price. Every judgment will come out of their taxpayer dollars. Money that's supposed to go to infrastructure for Lyon County is going to go to pay judgments because the sheriff's department can't treat people with respect. So, which is really the bad part because people should.
Sorry, hold on.
Oh, you're good.
I was trying to hide something up on my screen. Now I don't know where you went. I can't see you anymore. There you are. I don't
know. You're frozen. The video's being okay. So
I can't see you now anymore. Oh, there you are. Okay. Sorry about that.
So and like I said, it'll be if it's okay with you, I will touch base with you later on, maybe 5-ish or 6-ish. You just tell me whatever's a good time.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Just so you know, it's my 10th anniversary tonight. So
congratulations.
Thank you. But if I don't email you back right away, that might be why.
Right. Well, that's fine. And if in fact, since I know that, I'll probably wait and try to catch up with you tomorrow.
Feel free. I'll probably send you a follow-up email after this as well. But
okay.
I do appreciate your time. I wish you the best, and I hope that you receive justice. So it's good to meet you, Jeffrey, and we'll be in touch again soon.
All right, John. Thank you, and thank you to all your listeners. And
yeah. All right.
All right.
Have a good one. Bye.